Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We will get you out of here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here on the drive-thru, Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. So let's take a peek at who's on the show with us here for today. All right, with us today, we've got Mills Young with us today. It's Wednesdays with Mitch. Dana Lane will sign in bottom of the hour. Big on McMordie, Rod Zawacky, and of course Wayne will sign in bottom of the hour as well. And here's how we'll line up for this evening with Mitch, McMordie, Scott, Young, Zawacky, Lane, and then I will close this one out. All right, NBA on the board, 7-game card. Lots of college hoops. We've got 3 on the ice for you, so let's get this show underway. Let's welcome in Mitch. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Catch him on the morning shows here every day here on the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. During the week, it's 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll bring in Mitch here tonight. Mitch, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just one of these. Just it's the craziest time of the year. I mean, a lot of people ask me, that aren't in the business, but the friends, the neighbors, everybody else. Oh, you must be crazy with the Super Bowl. It's like, I'm crazy with Tuesday night college hoops. It's like, I mean, even Monday was crazy.
Yes.
It's like,
oh, that's the hardest.
Seriously, it's just ridiculous. It's like they just beat you over the head with games. It's like, I don't think I've ever looked this forward to an NBA All-Star break, as next week. Just at least a little bit of the hammering stops, for a couple of days, But still, the heavy lifting is still going to be there as college hoops isn't taking a break. I mean, they're not taking a break on Super Bowl Sunday. They sure as heck aren't going to take a break for the NBA All-Star game.
Oh, absolutely not. Here, as we're just rounding down the 4 or 5 weeks before the start of the conference tournament, starting in March this year. We don't have those February, late February. We had previous years. We're going to a little later start this year. But we go to conference action tonight in the SEC as Missouri here hosts Texas A&M. A&M road favorites 4.5. We see the total 138.
Yeah, I know it's that time of year where it's like, the teams that are bad, it's, the lines, all the lines are slanted to help them out. And we saw that last night in the South Carolina Ole Miss game. But I think in this one, Missouri is just bad. I mean, they're just a bad team this season. I think that they have a lot of problems. I understand the game's on ESPN too. They're trying to keep it close or whatever. But actually tonight's schedule and, even tomorrow night's, tomorrow night's is actually even more so. But just not a really big game card, and that's why this game lands there. But I tell you, Missouri has Gates. He's a fantastic coach. He did a great job at Cleveland State. I don't think they're going to cut bait with him this year, but they haven't won an SEC game yet this season. And while Texas A&M, their numbers are not very good. They only shoot 39.1% from the field and 26.7% from beyond the arc. But what you also have to remember is these guys are the kings of second chance points. They have 4 guys crashing the offensive boards every single time down the floor. So they might not get it in the hole every single time, but they get in the hole almost every single trip. They are one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the nation, and look for them to absolutely pound the boards in this one. Missouri, one of the worst on the defensive board. So this should be an absolute crushing on the offensive side by Texas A&M. It's how they gave Kentucky fits, and they're going to do the same thing on the defensive end. Missouri, not a good offensive rebounding team, and Texas A&M fantastic on the defensive side. And Texas A&M, just their overall defense is really, really good. So I don't expect Missouri to be able to have a lot of chances here. I think Texas A&M is going to outnumber Missouri shots at the basket 4-1, and I think that's how they get it done. I think with Texas A&M, the only thing you really need to ever worry about is the run-out transition, because they have 4 guys crashing the boards. The possibility of a fast break run out is certainly always there, but I think more often than not, they just win the rebound, and they're going to win and cover in this game.
All right, Mitch here has in this one, he's going to take the Texas A&M side here. Go ahead and lay the 4.5 here against the Missouri side. Mitch, looking at this one, I think with Texas A&M, they really have to rely on those rebounds. They have to be they got to secure that basketball, because really when you kind of look at their shooting, it's been kind of brutal in conference play. 25% from 3, 40% here inside.
Yeah, that's exactly what the problem is that, but, we saw it against Kentucky, and we've seen it against other teams as well, that, they can just absolutely dominate the boards. And I just don't see Missouri as a team that offers much resistance. I think, as far as Gates goes, I don't think his job is in trouble at all. I mean, he was awesome at Cleveland State. But at the same time, man, if they were to let him go at Missouri, there'd be 100 schools lined up to try and grab him. And I'm talking about big-time programs, too. I bet you Ohio State would be one of them, because I think they might be looking for a coach in the very near future.
Yep, that's very possible. Of course, Mitch, let's take a look at some of the games here, beginning here. Well, we do have a couple in the top, in the bottom of the hour. We're going to cover Georgia and St. Louis LaSalle starts in a few minutes here. We see LaSalle laying 4 in this one. It's not the same St. Louis team.
Yeah, it's not the same St. Louis team. It's the same St. Louis team that we've seen this season, which has been the bad St. Louis team. I don't love LaSalle, I really don't, but I really like St. Louis a lot less. We're just at that time of year where you kind of have to decide, is it a team playing badly or just a bad team? And I think St. Louis is the bad team.
Xavier and Villanova, top of the hour here. Xavier going to be laying 3 in this one. Total sits about 149.
Well, Xavier is, Villanova is on my list of the most disappointing teams in college basketball this season, and they're right near the top of that list. And I think Xavier, this is kind of like, their only chance is to really make noise in the Big East tournament. It really needs to basically run the table and then shake it up in the Big East tournament. It's their only chance of going to the postseason. I think Sean Miller bears down. I have no confidence right now in Villanova.
All right, LSU, Tennessee here, top of the hour here. Tennessee going to lay it big here, 14 in this one.
LSU is just such an up and down team, and Tennessee has trouble scoring the basketball, but I think LSU is going to struggle in this one. I like Tennessee at home, but it's a lean at best.
This one's moved quite a bit. Alabama, Auburn. Auburn opened 3.5, now up to 6 here in this one.
That's a big number for a rivalry game, but it is a revenge spot for Auburn. Both these teams are stacked. Alabama's been getting disrespected all season long. I mean, I do like Auburn in this game. I'm liking it a little less at the bigger the number gets, but I still think Auburn gets the revenge in this spot. And like I said, Alabama's been absolutely disrespected. They've been a really, really good team this year. They're just coming off a monster season. I mean,
I think that
last year.
I think people are staring at that 20-point loss there at Tennessee. What do you think? That's like a one-off there?
Oh yeah, I mean every team out there just about has a bad loss. Even except for UConn. I guess even UConn lost that Seton Hall. So even they have a bad loss. Everybody has one. Purdue lost at Northwestern. A game where you wouldn't expect them to lose, and then they lose, and then they go to Nebraska and lose. So everybody has, this today's college basketball with the transfer portal and image licensing, anybody can beat anybody. The very small schools are farm teams for the really big schools. But the thing is, they sell that angle, and they even get some young talent in there, and that's how you see, James Madison go in and beat Michigan State. It's like it happens, and we're seeing other games like that as well. Where just these smaller schools come in and they upset everything.
Yeah, the very best coach can say play now or sit for 2 years and behind one of those big schools.
Yeah, and then they transfer out. It's like Oakland and High Point. These are like the farm system, for the big boys.
Summit League 2 as well.
Pitt and NC State top of the hour here. We're seeing the NC State laying 3 in this one.
I like Pitt on the money line. They're the better team getting points. It doesn't make any sense to me.
All right, continuing here, some of the games here for Mitch. This is an interesting one tonight here. UCLA and Stanford, right? UCLA is a team on the rise, but they're not getting money. Stanford's getting the money now, up to 3.5, total 136.
I think all the suckers are loading up on Stanford. I think this is UCLA money line all the way. I just don't even see the Stanford angle in this one. I see the UCLA revenge angle. And also Mick Cronin, his best coaching usually comes in the second half of the season. Last year he coached well in the first half, and that was the first time we've ever really seen it. Normally it's a second half. He's a second half of the season coach. He gets his team rolling now, and I think in the Pac-12 tournament, this is that team that could rise through and beat everybody. It's not like they have a bunch of scrub players at UCLA. They're headed to the Big Ten. They're not going to have trouble recruiting, and I think they'll out-recruit most of those teams that are in the Big Ten. Where would you rather spend the majority of your winters? In Columbus, Ohio, or in LA? It's not a tough decision, for a high school kid, especially when they're getting paid either place they go to now. So it really doesn't matter.
Really, yeah. Nebraska and Northwestern going in. Northwestern's going to be laying 6 at home. Yeah,
Northwestern, it's getting a little high there. They certainly have veteran players. We talked about it on the morning show. Boo Boo, he is in his 16th year at Northwestern. Just seems like he's been there for an awful long time, like maybe almost too long. But Nebraska's just been terrible on the road.
Creighton and Providence. Creighton going to be laying 2 on the road in this one.
I like Providence in this one. I think they win this one outright. Ed Cooley didn't leave the cupboard bare, and I think Creighton is another team that's just slightly overrated, I think, for the regular season. But then again, if they land in the Final Four, no one's surprised.
Belmont at home laying 2.5 against Murray State.
Now you're reaching on me, but I think that Belmont is probably the better team of these two. The line in these Murray State games have looked so off for the last couple of weeks. It's like, they're a 9-14 team, and they've been getting treated by the odds makers and the public like they're 15-2 or something. But I think Belmont, in this one, they haven't been very good against the number at home, but the number is still manageable. I liked it a lot better at 1.
All right, North Texas at Tulsa. Of course, North Texas, a defensive team here, laying 5 on the road.
You always have to worry, with a team like this laying big points on the road. I think that North Texas certainly has the defense to shut them down. But Tulsa 8-2-2 against the number at home this season. I think they cover in probably a 3-point game.
All right, there we go. A little around the rundown here from Mitch from some of the college hoops action for tonight. Mitch is on Texas A&M here, laying 4.5 against Missouri tonight. All right, Mitch, let everybody know what's going on over at Pick Dogs Sports Chat Place as we're heading into Super Bowl week.
Well, I'm undergoing just the biggest project I've ever worked on as far as our website rebuild. We got a few of the cappers on this site that are actually going to help me out and, show some of the features that they've seen in other sites, guys like Al McMordie, who's on the show today, and I appreciate that that he's going to help me with that and talk to the design team as well as the programmers to make sure that we get it right, because the goal isn't necessarily to make it as easy as we can on our handicappers, which of course we want to do. It's to deliver the best product for our customers and for our Pick Dogs family. And I think today's day and age, we're not going to sit here and try and sell you 1972 or 1982 or 2002 and say, well, that's what we're selling. We want to sell you 2024, 2025, and 2026. And what that is an NBA player at 6 p.m. saying, I don't want to play today. And I think we need to take that into account. We need to be able to cap around that. And I don't think the customer should be the one left holding the bag on a moving line. Also, line adjustments, things of that nature, it will all be factored in, and I'm pretty excited to share that with the Pick Dogs community.
Very good, guys. So check us out at Pick Dogs here, Pick Dogs Sports, pickdogs.com, premium side. All right, Mitch, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great week, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Good to see everybody. Have an awesome day, and all our cappers that are on the show. I saw Mills there, and I saw Rod and Wayne and Al McMordie. I know Dana's coming as well, so check them all out. These guys are awesome, and check out the leaderboard and hottest cappers and everything. All these guys are just all over it all season. So I sometimes I always say this too. Sometimes it's always a good time to buy low, man, because everyone plays to the back of their baseball card. So most of these guys, even if they get a little cold for a day or a week, man, that's sometimes the day to jump on board.
Absolutely, no doubt about that, guys. Check us out. All right, Mitch, have yourself a great week. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue here on the drive-thru. Up next, it's Big Al McMordie. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring Big Al in right now. College hoops here, bottom of the hour action coming up here. We'll bring him here in just a second. I think we'll set to roll here. Let's get the numbers here. Big Al McMordie. Big Al, what's happened? I heard you got some more. You have a very difficult task ahead of you now, right? Web design team.
That's okay.
Yeah, Big Al.
I've been probably in the last 30 years. I've probably been on 30 to 40 different websites along the way. So I've seen everything. I kind of understand, what's involved and what's best for the clients, the handicappers, and everything.
That's right. Well, the ones that are still standing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of experience there from Big Al McMordie. All right, Big Al, we're going to get the graphics set up here in a second here. I know tonight we're looking at college hoops here with Georgetown and Seton Hall.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ed Cooley's Hoyas. They've been a disappointment this year, especially with him. I thought he would have a much better first season, but, sometimes it takes time. They're off that 91-57 blowout loss at home to Marquette. Seton Hall, who they play tonight, they're coming off a blowout win against DePaul, 72-39. I like the Hoyas here, Tony, as a home dog. You're going to see the line range from 12.5 to 13.5. Big East Road underdogs of plus 3 or more points off a Suat's loss. They've gone 204 and 134 ATS versus conference foes off a Suat's win, so that fits that angle. And then I've mentioned here, in the past, really big blowout losses by Big East teams. When they're off losses by 30 or more points, they've gone 29 and 11 ATS off those blowout losses. And Georgetown, they've done well against Seton Hall in the series, 6-2 ATS the last 8. I'll take the 12.5 to 13.5 points.
All right, we got a big on McMordie here on this Georgetown side here, plus the 13 here against Seton Hall. It does look like a rather big number, as you said here in this one. Georgetown, it's had, as you said, coaching changes is kind of rough for them here in conference, but you just need them to be competitive, like we saw there against Xavier and Providence.
Yeah, I mean, and for this game, we don't have to win. We just have to getting inside the numbers. So, I'll take my chances with Cooley's team tonight and look for a very close game.
All right, there we go.
My dog whining right now.
Whining, he goes, you got him on the dog. All right, there we go here. Big Eye McMordie here on Georgetown, plus 13 against Seton Hall tonight, bottom of the hour for this one. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Doctrine for tonight's action. Of course, college hoops on the board tonight. We got action as well from the NBA. 3 on the ice. Big Al having a fantastic NBA season. You see 2,052 units of profit all document over at Pick Dogs Premium. What do you have going over at the site?
Got 1 play in the NBA, Tony. I've got 4 plays in college, including my Big South Conference game of the month, and I've also got a 3-pack in college. I've also already posted my Super Bowl play. It's a rare 5-star play, and folks can get on board for that as well.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results here from Big Al. 2,052 units of profit. Get on board. Remember that 1-month pass to get you all Big Al's premium plays from the NBA for 30 days. The Super Bowl picks as well. College hoops, NHL. No better time than right now to get on board with Big Al with that 1-month pass to get you through the NBA regular college hoops regular season as we get right to near start of conference tournament action. Of course, Pick is a promo code. Save that 15% off. But Big Al, you also have the all access as well.
Yeah, folks can get down 1,000 to, or more on a game. And if they also don't mind the high volume, just text Big Al to 775-636-7676. You get all of my games. They're also rated from 10 stars down through 1 stars. You get additional plays as well. And then you can also ask me about any game of your liking 24/7.
That's right, guys. Get on board that with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get on board with that all access. And I get that text number in there as well. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great afternoon, evening, and we'll catch up with you again. Dry up, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, it's been a monsoon here in Los Angeles the last several days. It looks like it's finally getting dry right now.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow might be the last hurrah. I don't know. I think I read earlier in the week we were going to get rain through Thursday, but maybe it's done.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, Big Al, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Big Al McMordie here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. I know Mills has been texting me here. It's hard to respond while I'm doing the show here with 3,300 scenes. I did get that change of pick, so that's already in the system. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's bring in Wayne Scott, catch him over. Let's see if he's signed in here because he was running a little late today. Let's see if we got to get Wayne. We got Wayne in. Wayne Scott, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in right now, ready to roll here in just a second here. Wayne, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? What's going on, Pick Dog family? Hope everybody doing good out there today.
Everything's going great. All right, we're going Thursday night fight night here. I used to love the Thursday night fights back on USA Network back in the day. Those were some pretty good fights, but man, that's when there was less networks carrying them, so you really got really good fights. But anyway, Keyshawn Davis, Jose Pedraza, we see the big line here. How do you see it?
Yes, sir. We're going to look at a different angle in here, but I'm going to go ahead and break down this co-main event. This is the main event will be Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz. Co-main event, as you see on the screen, Jose Pedraza versus Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is a young up-and-comer fighter from Virginia, 9-0, 66% KO rate. He's known in the boxing world. He's been sparring with some of the great fighters. He stays in Terrence Crawford's camp and under Terrence Crawford's trainer, Bomac. But it's time for him to step up and make a title fight run. So to do that, you got to fight the guys. Jose Pedraza, he's an old head. He's one of the better Puerto Rican fighters of this generation. 2-time title holder, but he's lost his last fight, a draw the fight before that, and a loss the fight before that. So Jose Pedraza is 29-5-1. He's getting a little older, as I mentioned. He's losing a little step. He's fighting Gervonta Davis. That is the only fighter he's been stopped in. And I think this is a similar fight, man. I think Keyshawn Davis is just way too strong. Keyshawn Davis is not a love tapper. He doesn't love tap your gloves. He's a whaler. He does that by setting up his punches, good combinations, good footwork. He cuts off the ring great. And to me, he's just going to wear down Pedraza in this fight and ultimately get the stoppage either from the ref or from the corner. No slight to Pedraza. I think he comes in. I think he gives a good fight earlier. But we're going to find out in this fight right here if Pedraza is going to make one last title run or is he going to be thrown in the gatekeeper category who just fights these up-and-coming fighters. To me, I like Keyshawn Davis to win this fight and to win it by KO. Instead of guessing what round it is for a huge payout, I just like to bet on the fight not to go the distance. So the fight to be stopped before the end of all the rounds at plus 165. I think we're getting a great number on that. And I like for Keyshawn Davis to get that KO and for this fight not to go the distance.
All right, fight to not go distance here. So no distance here in this one with Pedraza and Davis. No distance, not to go distance. Let me get that graphic fixed up there. No distance here. 165 means it must stop before. How many rounds are we looking at in this one?
It's a 10-round fight, I believe.
10-round fight. Okay, so as you said, Pedraza, you said obviously is looking to get to that next level, right? He's trying to get back in that championship picture. You don't want to be known as you said that gatekeeper because then you're fighting all these up and comers, and and the paychecks quite a bit less, right? You want to fight guy. You want to stay at that top pay rate.
Facts. Like Tony just mentioned, as that gatekeeper, you're fighting these up and coming fighters for a lower check. But if you're fighting them and you're fighting them for a title fight chance, then that's when you get the bigger check. So this is one of those scenarios where the winner of this should be able to get a title shot in the 135 the division. But if Pedraza loses this with the rate he's going, I think he's going to be fighting lower level fighters. Still good fighters, but lower level fighters are not putting him in that title shot contender mode.
All right, there we go with the Wayne here on Davis and Pedraza to not to go the distance. That's how he's going to be looking at this one here. And of course, the play there is on plus 165. Let everybody know where this fight's. They can view this fight.
It's going to be in Las Vegas. It's not pay-per-view, but I'm not sure if ESPN is going to be holding this or not, Tony. I normally just, I hate to say this, but pirate all my fights straight from the internet. But I believe I don't know. I have to look that up, Tony.
Usually top rank. Usually it's ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus usually during the week. The weekends you get your DAZNs and all those other streaming services. So there we go with the pick here from Wayne. All right, Wayne, we like to go around the NBA here. We do have a lot of these games not covered on the show today, so we'll do a rundown here with Wayne from the NBA. We will have 5 games on this rundown because 2 will be covered here on the show. We'll start here at top of the hour. Cavaliers and Wizards. The Cavs going to be laying bundle here, 11.5, total 234.5.
Yeah, man, and the Cavs have been whooping up on the Wizards this season and in the last 10. But I'm not going to lie, Tony, I like a lot of dogs today, and I like the Wizards here, man. They got their guys. Wizards just have not been playing well at home. I just feel like the books are telling us something with this number. With as well as the Cavs have been playing, we've seen the books give you plus 15, plus 16, and they're not moving at this 11. As many people is coming and betting on the Cavs, they are not moving here at this 11. I think the Wizards do enough to cover at home. They have not been playing well at home. They actually play much better on the road. But I think they have the offense here. One thing that worries me with the Cavs, they have been rolling offensively, but with this newer lineup that they have, when they go back to their old starting lineup with Garland, Evan Mobley, we've seen that lineup been stagnant. When you surround Donovan Mitchell with these three-point shooters, that's where they've gone on this run. So I'm curious to see if they continue this run with their original starting lineup, and I'm curious to see if that offense keeps rolling like that. We know the Cavs are a good defensive team, but I'm wondering with the Wizards here in the points, man. They're a good scoring team. They lack defense, but I think they can keep it close in this one.
Wizards at home. It's a home dog in this one. All right. Raptors and Hornets going head-to-head. Boy, Raptors laying 7 here in this one, total 226.
Yeah, this is probably one of the only favorites I like, man. I just can't look the Hornets' way. They're just too depleted on this one. Raptors, with that starting lineup they have, they've been at least competing. Yeah, I just like the Raptors here on the road. They actually been playing good on the road, 6-4 in their last 10. 50% are road favorites. Like you said, they don't see that road favorite that much. But when they 2-2 as road favorites, but when they do win, they win by about 8 points or more. And they played better against Eastern Conference than Hornets played against Eastern Conference. Hornets only covering 30% of the time when they play against Eastern Conference. Hornets 2-8 in their last 10 and 1-4 in their last 5 at home. I got to roll with the Raptors here.
Going with the Raptors there with Wayne. All right, Warriors and 76ers, ESPN tonight. Warriors going to be road favorites 4. Total sits 235.5.
Yes, sir. I'm going to continue to ride with the Warriors here, man. They're starting to pick it back up ever since they started benching Klay Thompson. I know he doesn't like it, but they're playing better as a team with these younger guys. Kuminga stepping up, Jackson stepping up. I think they get rolling here for a second. They catch the Sixers without Embiid. Yes, they got Tyrese Maxey, Harris, and a couple of those guys, but until I see these guys put it together and get used to not having Embiid in there, I got to continue to fade these guys. Also, Warriors play well against the East, hitting at about 62% clip. They win them games by about 3 points, so this 4 is a little bit scary, but I still like the Warriors in this one.
Warriors in this one. All right, Spurs and Heat going head-to-head here. The Heat here, back-to-back spot laying 7.5, total 227.5.
Yes, sir. We got two of the top coaches in basketball head-to-head. We've seen this line drop. This line open up at 8, and for good reason. And I like the Spurs here, man. Heat have not been good in their back-to-backs. They have not been good with the rest disadvantage. They have not been good at home. We see them blow out the Magic yesterday, but although the scoreboard showed a blowout, it's still a physical game to come in there and play the Magic like that. Also, the Spurs have been playing well on the road, 7-3 in their last 10 on the road. Spurs are also decent as road underdogs, 11-12, hitting that 48% clip. And they played decent against the East as well. So I like the Spurs here with the 8. Just a bad spot for Miami.
All right, there. Hawks and Celtics will have coverage of this game a little later in the show. Pelicans and Clippers will have coverage later in the show. Pistons and Kings, Mills said give this one to Wayne. We got to Kings laying 13, total 242.
Yes, sir. And I like the Pistons again, man. I told you I like the Dogs today. Yes, Kings are 7-3 in their last 10 against them. Kings have also covered their last 2 against them. But the Kings are 3-7 in their last 10 at home. Haven't been playing well at home. We catch the Kings coming off a 7-game road trip. While the Pistons have been fighting lately, we see the Pistons inserting back to their starting lineup with Cade Cunningham and these guys coming back. Pistons 6-4 in their last 10 in a row. Pistons also been decent as a road dog, 11-11, hitting that 57% clip, but only losing those games by 10 points. So you're giving me 3.5 extra points. The Pistons been playing defense, and the Kings have been going back to their swing-style defense, almost looking like the Pacers as of lately with their defense. I think they're like top 5 and worst defense in their last 3, just have not been putting together defensively. I think we're catching the Kings at a good spot with a lot of points with the Pistons, giving the Pistons 13.5.
All right, we just saw the hook come into play now. It's the sharpest book in the world now, 13.5. We see a lot of juice on 13, so do your line shopping, get the best numbers there as we're able to give you that rundown tonight here. Of course, we will have on our next segment We have Mills with us coming up on the next segment. I just want to let you know here, we'll have coverage at this one as well as Hawks and Celtics a little later on the show. Of course, for the show, Wayne will be on, Davis Pedroza, not to go distance, fighting on Thursday night. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. Of course, NBA on the board with that 7-day game schedule. Lots of college hoops action on the ice. What do you have going on over at Pick Docs Premium?
Yes, sir. I have 2 bets in the NBA and 4 in college basketball. I have a 3-pack in college basketball, and I have my best bet in college basketball. I also had a 3-pack with those 2 NBAs and 1 college basketball. So however you want to cut it and slice it, you want to get on these bets with me, you can hop over there to the site. Or you can grab my 3-day, 7-day, and 30 days where you get those plays before all the line movements, be the first one to get those. So you can cash with me when they hit and be able to get them as soon as I drop them. So let's cash today.
That's right. Get on board with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get the long-term passes. Will serve you well. You guys like that 7-day pass, all the hoops action, boxing as well. You get from Wayne. And, of course, Super Bowl pick coming up for the weekend. All right, Wayne, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again here on the show tomorrow. But let everybody know about your boxing video series here on Pick Dogs.
Yes, sir. Video should be dropping this week. It will include that pick that I just gave you and the main event pick. So look for that coming this week. And I appreciate you for having me, Tony T, as always. And good luck with all your bets, Pick Dog family. Let's cash this tonight.
Indeed. Wayne Scott here on the drive-through. All right, let's continue on here on the show. Up next, we promised you Mills. We've got coverage on that big one tonight. Clippers and Pelicans. Interesting spot here for the Clippers. We'll bring him in right now. Ready to roll with Mills. Mills, we're going to go on the Skype world for Mills. Ready to go with Mills. Mills, what's happening?
How's everybody doing out there?
Things going great. All right, here we go, Mills. Tonight, you'll be looking at this one tonight with the Clippers and Pelicans going head-to-head here. Clippers coming off a road trip. Pelicans are dogs here. Clippers laying 6.5, total 231.5.
Yeah, man. Either way you look at it, man, we got a good game to watch tonight. Over a late night in California. I mean, both of these teams, when you look at it, they got trios of stars, who can play on both teams. You already know who the Clippers got. Don't need to mention them. Let's go ahead and give the Pelicans some deserved player mentions. I mean, Zion Williamson, he's able to play every single game damn near this season. Still hasn't been on the injury report. He's doing his thing. CJ McCollum, let's talk about him for a minute. Ever since it seems like he came to the Pelicans, he's been that little glue piece that they need over there. Averaging 19 points on the season, sometimes he gets forgot. I remember back in the day when he was with the Portland Trailblazers, he would go for like 2.5 threes and about 37 points in a game, when Dame Lillard would take those games off or be hurt. Seems like he hasn't been able to do that this year, though. But Brandon Ingram, the slim guy, he's been as advertised this year, averaging 21 points on the year. I don't know if he made the All-Star appearance this year. I'm pretty sure he didn't because it's hard to get in on the West Coast. But he's been doing what he has to, averaging 21 points on the year. And Zion putting up 20 points right there as well. 3 players that's putting up about, 60 points when you add in all that. I think when it comes down to it, in this series, they're 1-1. Pelicans was able to win the first game. Clippers beat them in the last game. But the last game, I take that for a fluke. Why? Hey, Tony, you want to know who was the leading scorer in that game?
Which one was that one?
The last time the Clippers and the Pelicans played, you want to know guess who was the lead scorer in the game for the Pelicans?
For the Pelicans in that game, boy, boy. I'm going to take it. Since you asked a question, it's going to be a wild one. I'm going to say Jonas Valanciunas.
Man, you did your research and work, man. So let's get to it. In that game, he had 13 points. Emphasis, 13 points and was the leading scorer for the Pelicans. I don't think that's happened in the game today. Give me the points with the Pelicans. I think they're coming to L.A. to play. You know how Brandon Ingram is when he gets to L.A. He wants to go up over here and show these people, hey, man, don't forget how I used to play over here. Used to average 17 points for the Lakers before they traded me. Hey, let's go ahead and take the Pelicans plus the points.
All right, we got Pelicans here, plus the points. Of course, Zion still dealing with that nagging foot injury. He continues to play through it. They put him on the report just for that. We'll see. And again, he's been playing through it, and hopefully he can play through it again for the Pelicans backers up there. But no, this is one of those bad spots for a lot of these home teams. We're seeing a lot of teams coming off these road trips. I know out in your the team you cover have a bad spot, and the Clippers here have a bad spot. These teams out on the coast or on the West Coast coming off a long road trip playing their first home game.
I mean, and that plays dividends a lot, especially in baseball. That was something that we always cap it, to where if it's a long travel, that definitely takes a lot. But I mean, it's hard to say they're playing bad though, Tony. They're like 9-1 in the last 10 games. You know what I mean? I think the only hotter team is like the Cleveland Cavs, if you ask me though. But yeah, it's just hard to say it, but I get it. On a long travel spot home, and I'm not saying the Pelicans gonna win outright. I'm just saying that they're going to cover them points. And let's go ahead and talk about the Pelicans for a minute, man. I mean, their losses are to the better teams. They lost to the Nuggets. They lost to the Suns. They lost to the Thunder. I want to say they lost to the Celtics. I mean, and in that little span, they got wins over teams like the Timberwolves, the Warriors, the Mavericks, you know what I mean, the Jazz. So, I mean, they only lost to really the top-tier teams in the NBA right now in the last 10 games. So, I mean, I get it. The record ain't, shining or pretty or anything, but, they were a better team in the Western Conference a year ago. This is the thing, though. I don't think it's the same Pelicans. I haven't seen a highlight from Zion Williamson at all. Like, not one dunk. Remember, it was like he would get a highlight like every game. He would get 2 in it. I haven't seen a highlight of Zion Williamson on ESPN. Seems like they're not relying on him as much as they did before. They're kind of just letting the team do what they need to. So, I think the Pelicans ain't even playing nowhere near their best ball in here. And I think they should be able to cover those points. When you got 3 players like that could put up 20 points, and the players on the other team. Paul George right now, I don't know what's up with him, but he's not contributing on the scoring offense right now. His point prop dropped from 24 a game to 19 points. Kawhi Leonard's averaging like 27 points in there, though. But besides that, I think these guys can run with them. It's the whole thing of, if Ingram ain't able to hit his shot, guarantee C.J. McCollum got his back. And if C.J. McCollum ain't got his back, you got Zion Williamson going to the rack looking like Anthony Mason, mixed with Larry Johnson, just trying to score. So I think they're going to get those points for us.
Here we go. Here we got our man Mills here on the Pelicans plus the 6.5 here against the Clippers tonight at 10 Eastern time. This is your doubleheader game over on ESPN. All right, Mills, let's take a look over at Pick Doctrine for tonight's action. Of course, on the board tonight, we have an NBA. Let's get the right one up here. NBA on the board tonight, as well as action from college hoops. Mills enjoyed a good past 7 days. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, man, I got to play in the NBA to get you guys paid. Then I got one in college, too, as well. It's my college Top Shot, and that's my NBA all-net best bet. So, yeah, you can pick both those up for you guys today. UFC's locked and loaded. I just did the UFC rundown show. It should be coming out probably in the next hour or two on the channel here. We killed it last week on the predictions. We went 9-3, 5-2 on our premiums. I like a lot of bets already for this card, so I'm already putting some picks up there. I would say, get my 3-day pack because it's going to have everything included for it. But hey, man, might as well go ahead and get that 7-day pass because I'm here on a Wednesday, not a Thursday. So get everything that I got for you today. And everything locked and loaded for the UFC. Got my Super Bowl bet already up there on the site, too, to get you paid. And I'm loving the props that we got for that Super Bowl game, too, including a lot of them in there to get you paid. So in my picks, you might have one main pick as a bet, but then I'm putting about 3 other ways to get you paid in there. So you can do what you want with it. Let's go ahead and get that money today.
That money deal with Mills Young over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get on board here with the long-term passes. Of course, 7-day passes the way you roll right now on a Wednesday. All of Mills Premium plays for 7 days. All his action from NBA, all his action from college basketball. The Super Bowl pick, UFC action as well from Mills. Get on board right now with Mills Young. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. You can also add multi-cap promotion. Even greater value there, right? Mills, is always great having your show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. But let everybody know about your video series, the Prop Shop, as well as your UFC rundown.
Yeah, man. Prop Shop, we've been making some money out there, giving out some good props out there, making some good bets. So you might want to check that out daily. We already went over all the cards all the games on the card for the slate today. I'll give you guys one that I like in this game right here. I'm taking Kawhi Leonard, taking him over his point prop in here. I think he's going to be able to hit that. He's been hitting that at like an 80% rate, backed up by the Sports Chat Plays betting tools as well. So check the prop shop daily. Besides that, the UFC Rundown Show, Bet With Me, comes out every Wednesday throughout the week for the UFC card. I try to drop it right around when the weigh-ins and right when the media interviews is going on, right around the same time because fights get pulled off and announced. But that should be up on the site for you guys today. So go ahead and check that out, man. I plan on smacking this card this week, just like we did last week.
Absolutely, guys. Smack at the book there with Mills Young. Check the video series and get the premium picks from Mills. All right, Mills, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Let's go ahead and win these bets tonight.
You got it. Mills Young here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Time for Rod Zawacky. Catch him over at Pick Dog Spring. We'll bring Rod in right now. It's been great to us here on the show. We'll bring him in here. Rod Zawacky here in just a second. I think we'll set to roll here. We got the action on the ice. We did see the hang on a second. We get him in here in just a second here for Rod Zawacky. Here we go, Rod. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much. Just drinking my coffee and getting ready for some more action. Shot a couple hockey videos and always working on the next day. So
yes,
definitely looking ahead, and always busy here. Trying to find winners.
Trying to find some
Doesn't
winners.
stop.
Never stops. Never stops finding winners here. And of course, we go on the ice with Rod tonight as Stars and Maple Leafs going head to head here, top of the hour. Maple Leafs favored $1.32, total 6.5.
Yeah, and you look at this one. This will be game 2 for the Leafs out of the All-Star break. They lost the first game coming out of the All-Star break in that one. And for me, this Leafs team, you look who they lost to the Islanders 3-2 in that one, and then the last few ones, sure, they were on a nice 3-game winning streak heading into the All-Star break. Well, they beat Winnipeg back-to-back. Well, Winnipeg was pretty beat up heading into those games, missing at least 4 guys, and really beat up on the end of a long road stretch for the Jets. They took advantage there. They beat Seattle. They beat Calgary in the last 10 games. So no world beaters there. For me, this Dallas Stars team, winners of 4 straight. And where do they play their best hockey? They play their best hockey on the road. 15-5 on the road here has this Dallas Stars been. This is also a revenge game here for Dallas. The Leafs have won the last 5 meetings. They won earlier this year in Dallas, but I just like Dallas here on the spot to continue the winning streak, the way they play hockey. Wedgwood's going to get the start for Dallas in this one. He's 13-4 with a .298 goals against average this season, an .890 save percentage. And you look at Samsonov, who's going to get the start for the Leafs in this one. And hey, he's been playing good recently. His last 4, he's got a 149 goals against average and a 942 save percentage. But on the year, he's got a 3.35 goals against average and an 879 save percentage. So he has been a little bit better lately. But as I said, the Leafs have only come up with wins against some pretty bad teams. I give them a little credit for beating Winnipeg, but Winnipeg was beat up in those games. And Dallas, well, they just continue to keep rolling right along here. And even with Wedgwood and net, I like Dallas in this one. To end that losing streak, take the Stars to win this one at that nice plus price.
Stars at the plus price here against the Maple Leafs. And Rod, I've always heard about the Maple Leafs. There's a lot of pressure at home in these home games for Toronto over the years. What is it about this home ice here with this Maple Leafs? And is it the local media, the fan base? There's so much pressure on these players.
All of it. All of the above. You got the local media that's always put these players right underneath spotlights, and they follow them around. That's anywhere in Canada, though. We follow our teams really closely, where they have podcasts of guys that follow the teams around, and it's usually more than one podcast, 2 or 3 that follow these teams around all across Canada. But the Maple Leafs center of Canada, there's how many millions in Canada, in that end of the country, that tune into these games, and they want results. I know down in this side of the country, Edmonton wants some results. They're gonna start. Let's start a riot, and they will. We'll get mad, get angry, but the Leafs it's one of the. It's I would say probably the toughest next to Montreal. Montreal's the same.
Yeah.
The pressure that they put these guys underneath. That's why a lot of guys. There was a guy in Florida. I think he went to Anaheim. He wasn't coming up north. He was like that Florida player. He was going to come up to Edmonton. He was like, no, too much pressure, not doing it. I'm going to go to over here and play for the Ducks instead. And it was like, wow, okay. It's just they put them under a spotlight. It's a tough place to play in Canada. We expect. We put the bar up here. Let's put it that way. Here, Canadians, they expect the bar up here. Their teams to play at this level. They don't expect down here.
Yep, there you go. That's a tough, a lot of pressure on this team. All right, Stars here, plus the points against the Maple Leafs. We'll get bonus in a minute. Tonight, top of the hour. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight's action. Of course, the hockey on the board tonight as well as NBA. Lots of college hoops. Rod enjoying a very successful campaign in 2024, as you can see there. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And over Pick Dogs Premium, I have no. You got my best bet of the NHL here tonight. Take the Dallas Stars in this one, and then I lean to an under too. I think we get a lower scoring one as a little quick bonus. But over Pick Dogs Premium, college hoops has been rolling for me. We're starting to heat up college hoops. 4-1 the last 5, and I got a 5-pack in college hoops tonight. Heading over, scoop it up. Join me as we crush the books, slamming college hoops. And then I've got my top play of the day, and it's in the NBA. Absolutely love that play in the NBA tonight to crush the books. That's what I got going. I got hoops action. You got my hockey here for tonight over the site. But what do we got going the rest of the week? Well, it's Super Bowl week, so definitely you want to scoop up that Super Bowl pack. I've got your side winner, your total winner, and your MVP winner also in a nice little 3-pack for you to scoop up, enjoy the Super Bowl, and crush the books. I love it. Love those 3 plays to crush the books and make us money on Sunday. So even better than having to buy all these packages individually, as many of the cappers before me have said, long-term is the way to go. Bigger savings to your pocketbook and more winners for you as well. So use that promo code PICK at checkout, save 15% off, and join me for the week as we crush Super Bowl week this week.
Absolutely. Crush Super Bowl week right now with Rod Zawacky. Don't forget the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Right, Rod. Just remind the people of the bonus that you threw in there.
The bonus I threw in there, I like the under in this game as well. And my other bonus is I like Matt Duchene to get a goal for the Dallas Stars. I think he rips one in past Samsonov tonight and gets a nice plus 290 on that price. I think Matt Duchene to get an anytime goal is a bonus tonight.
There you go. From Rod Zawacky, extra bonus. All right, Rod, it's always great having you show, but let everybody know about your video series over at Pick Dogs. You go A to Z in the NHL, every game on the board, also parlay.
Yeah, every game on the board from A to Z. I cover every hockey game going from now until right through till they hoist the Stanley Cup. So definitely like, subscribe. That way you get notified when those videos drop. And definitely go check out the parlay action we've got going tomorrow. So only a small card tonight. I couldn't find one. Couldn't get there. But tomorrow we do have one. So definitely watch out for those 3-team parlays I got in hockey as well. So definitely check those out.
Check those out indeed. All right, Rod, have yourself a great evening. And we'll catch up with you again here on Steak Friday.
Definitely, everybody, have yourself a wonderful evening. Crush your bets. Get that bookies money. And we'll catch you guys on Steak Friday.
On Steak Friday indeed. Rod Zawacky here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, Dana Lane. Boy, Dana Lane has been on a tear here over at Pick Dogs. You'll see the leaderboard numbers in a second, but man, he's been on fire. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Top of the hour. Lightning Rangers. Rangers home favorites. Total 6.5.
Yeah, Vasilevsky, it looks like against Jonathan Quick in this one, giving Quick another start after the All-Star break. And we saw money coming in early on Tampa Bay. I think people anticipated this goaltending matchup. That has since had stopped. We've seen a lot more Ranger money coming in, but that number is looks like it's pretty solid and it's good for the bankroll. So we're certainly more than willing to get involved in that. I mean, we had a discussion, I think, a couple of weeks ago about which teams had depth at goaltending, which teams could throw out a 1 and 1A. And I think the Rangers are definitely one of those teams. I don't think people have realized how good Jonathan Quick has been in his tenure with the New York Rangers. He's 11-4-4 in the season. His save percentage is decent at .918, certainly what you would expect out of a backup goaltender, and his goals against is 2.35. So I don't look at Jonathan Quick. I mean, I know he's 38 years old, but I don't look at him as a guy that's, that big of a drop-off, especially this year with Shesterkin and how that they played pretty poorly in front of him. In fact, they've done that for a few years now, but Igor's been able to bail him out. He has not been able to do that this year. Quick was sensational the other night against Colorado in that 2-1 overtime win. He's allowed just 5 goals since over his last 3 starts, and he hasn't allowed more than 3 goals in an outing since December. And in fact, he's made 61 out of his last 64 saves. So I feel pretty confident leaning on the Rangers tonight. I thought, and even going back, I knew Jonathan a little bit when he was in Vegas, and he's a very competitive guy. Looks really good for 38, and he was sensational here in Vegas too. So he's been good for a couple of years, and I think at the end there in LA, I mean, you could tell me more than most, Tony. I mean, I think at the end there in LA, I mean, between the injuries and kind of not knowing if you were, when you were going to play, like it really took its toll on him. And I think the best thing that ever happened to him was to get signed by Vegas, which catapulted him into this position in New York. But I like the Rangers tonight.
All right, Dana here on the Rangers minus 114. We'll discuss this game in a little bit. Let's get to the pick dogs premium for tonight's action. We're getting near the top of the hour. Dana is on fire here. 3,147 units of profit last 30 days, all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. Hockey on the board, NHL on the board. You've been killing it in college hoops. Good college hoops card. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
That NBA 3-pack is locked and loaded. You got to get involved in that. You got a few minutes already. Or a few minutes left to do that. $49.99 gives you my top 3 NBA plays. Also, college basketball 3-pack is up there as well as NHL. And then tonight, I really wanted to put it up a little bit earlier, but I've been promising at midnight tonight, Eastern time, I'll have my Super Bowl side and total up there a little bit early for the Pacific Coast people. But wanted to wait as long as I could, and I've been definitely knee deep in that stuff this weekend. I went to the opening night of the Super Bowl on Monday, and I'll tell you, if you're leaning on home field advantage in any way and you're handicapping, it's going to be about 70-30 as far as the 49er fans are concerned. They'll be the mass majority.
They got the deeper pockets there in Silicon Valley. There, 49ers.
Yeah, well, they have to travel a lot.
And the travel,
they have to travel a lot less.
Yep, and that's probably why you see them favored. They're putting their money behind their team. Get on board with Dana Lane over at Pick Dodge Premium. Great results, 3,147 units of profit last 30 days. That's all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. No better time than now to get the long-term pass. Remember, the 1-month pass to get you all of Dana's premium plays for 30 days. That's all his NBA, all his college hoops. That takes to the end of the regular season, right in time, tournament time. Also, the NHL has Super Bowl picks, 1 month all sports pass. Get on board, use the promo code PICK and checkout. You'll save that 15% off. Even add multi-capper promotion, making it even a greater value there, right, Danny? Yeah, Jonathan Quick, his time here in LA was just kind of a transition, right? The coaching changes, and of course the Kings letting go a lot of they're more of a defensive style team under Suter. They were kind of in that transition mode. I think Quick just got caught up in it.
Yeah, and they really needed him to come up big. We talked about this last week about John Gibson. It's like, man, how much better would that guy have been if he just said, look, I'm going to take my talents to another franchise where I think I can win. And I don't think those words have ever been uttered out of his mouth once in his tenure with the Ducks. But, as far as Jonathan Quick is concerned, maybe his lack of playing over the last 2 years has given him some longevity. And, of course, he's played with, 2 pretty good teams. I have no problem putting my money behind him. And there's a lot of caveats in this game as well, including the Tampa Bay Lightning getting their second line or their second pairing second pairing defenseman back tonight. And it looks like Sergachev and Chernak are going to be back in the lineup. And I never jump on a team when I got guys going back into the lineup, because not so much with defensemen, especially when you're talking about second pairings, but I always think it takes a game or two for these guys to get acclimated again. And I know that, for me, you're not going to be able to play. The Rangers have got to play better defensively, but I think tonight, they're going to be able to push the pace of play, and I think they're going to be able to get some pucks behind Vasilevsky, who just has not been very good this year. And if I told you that Sergei Vasilevsky has a .899 save percentage, I think you'd be very surprised about that. And not only that, I mean, Tampa Bay just is not very good on the road either. So I had no problem taking the Rangers tonight.
All right, Dana here on the Rangers, minus 114 here against the Lightning. You found out what Dana has over at Pick Dogs for him, guys, so go ahead and get signed up. And of course, Dana, let everybody know about your video series. Of course, it's against the public betting.
Yeah, against the public, every single night we try to put it up early. You know, it's so spotty sometimes, but I try to put up as early as possible for the next day, and a tremendous amount of success there. We've knocked them down more than we haven't, so I'm very happy with the results, and I appreciate everybody that has left nice messages. So very happy to be doing that. It's a little bit of work, but it's definitely has paid off, and I appreciate everybody who's loyal to the show.
That's right, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and of course, like, subscribe, and set those notifications. So when Dana drops those videos, you get them there in real time and get those picks, get the best numbers. All right, Dana, have a great rest of the week. Continue that great success here at Pick Dogs, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
All the best to you, Tony. Keep on killing it. I appreciate it.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the show. We'll get to the recap, then we'll get to my pick. My pick starts in about 40 minutes. So let's get to the recap here right now. Let's go ahead and get to it here in just a second. Let's go here to the recap here. 1 second recap bar. Here we go. Mitch was on Texas A&M minus 4.5 against Missouri. Big Guy McMordie, Georgetown plus 13 against Seton Hall. Wayne was on Davis versus Pedraza. That's the boxing fight, the fight for tomorrow. Not to go distance plus 165. Mills says Pelicans plus the 6.5 against Clippers. Rod Stars plus 114 against Maple Leafs. Rangers minus 114 here against Lightning for Dana. I'll be on the Hawks plus the 12 here against these against these Boston Celtics. Let's see here. The one I like the most here, boy, it's hard not to. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. It's hard not to take those Pelicans, right? It's just it's that road spot, right? That first home game off a long road trip. Clippers on a high here. Let's go there with that all those points there with this really good Pelicans team here, plus the points. All right, guys. Let's get back to my game, right? We got to get back to my game here. So we go here. Hawks and Celtics going to take the points here. With the Hawks. Let me go ahead and move the chains here. We'll move them here to the Hawks. Let's see, now down to 11.5. It was 12 earlier. Let me see what the line number looks like right now. Oh, you can find 12s out there. There's a lot of 12s out there, although we're seeing some late money there come on the 11.5. So you can find the 12s. There's even a 12 and a hook someplace. Yeah, Chris, wow. So do your line shopping. Get the best number in this one. Really comes down to looking at the Hawks' offensive form has been pretty sharp right now. If you look over their past 5 games, their tops in offensive efficiency, averaging 128 points per 100 possessions, a plus 5.5 net rating. Boston, a 5.3 net rating over this span. And, of course, over the span, the Hawks just shooting the ball well, 50%, Celtics 46%. I'll just take the points here. Just seems like too many here. Boy, some of these ugly dogs, again, it might be, I think it was Wayne that said earlier, it looks like an ugly dog, like a dog day to day. And I would not be surprised. A lot of ugly dogs on the board tonight. But, man, that's a lot of points to give this Hawks team that could score. And I don't know if the Boston Celtics have been sharp as we've seen earlier in the season. So we'll take them here. We'll take the Hawks here at plus the 12. I know. John Stewart says suspiciously high, right? It's a suspiciously high. We know Capella, Gee, and Murray are out of this one, but still Young, Bogdanovich are in their line of Hunter, Jalen Johnson there for Atlanta. But we'll take it here plus the points in this one. All right, guys, check out Pick Dogs Premium. I've got a 3-pack up there on the board right now over at Pick Dogs for the NBA and college hoops. Also, my NBA best bet is bundled in my best bet, so they'll buy them both. Just either buy the best bet or the 3-pack, because the best bet is bundled in there as well. Or you can go long-term with my passes, 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that time period. Just select when you go to my handicapper page and make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. You can also get the multi-capper promotion, making it even a greater value there. All right, let's continue on here. As we'll say, guys, we'll give you, like you guys in the chat room, bring in your best bets, and we'll read them out for you guys. Put your best bets on the show. That'll do it for this edition of the Drive Thru, guys. Make sure you guys tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. We'll get your place for you in real time. Remember, it always gets started with that morning show here. We are live 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time during the week with Mitch, with Chris, and with Jay. Of course, we'll see Romanelli and Costi in there as well once in a while, filling in with some of those slots. Also, don't forget the video series here. We got Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes betting tools show. Also around the league here with Chris Ruffolo with his NHL. Also, Jay's Jam Session NBA. Also, NFL Live Show coming up for the Super Bowl show will be coming up there with the Jay and Company. Big Al McMordie with his All Access. We also have Costy with Sharp Trading Plays. Of course, the contrarian picks here from our man Brian Bittler as well. Mills with his UFC rundown, his prop shop video as well. Nick Mencken, first half NBA. Also parlay videos from Brad Francis. Of course, boxing, our boxing video series here with our man Wayne Scott. So you want to check those out as well. So, and Rod Zawacky goes A to Z from the NHL. Every game on the board from the NHL from Rod, as well as his parlay video, his parlay from the NHL as well. So you get lots of content here on Pig Dog Sports Chat Play. So make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. So when these videos drop, you'll get them in real time. Don't forget Dana Lane against the public there with his betting predictions there as well on his video series. And we got you covered as well here on the channel. So love everybody here on the show. Want to give everyone a shout out tonight. Let's see any big plays coming. Shout out there to Latifa. Shout out there as well. Shout out there to Blake in there as well. Likes the Hawks himself. Our man Nick, Red Sox in there as well. Blake liking -8 on Tennessee first half. What else do we have here? Any other ones rolling? DeBuckwo, I'm sure win here with Clippers Pelicans. Okay, he likes that one as well. What else we've got here? Pistons here, +13.5 here with Blake as well. So getting a lot of good plays here tonight from all the crew in the chat tonight. Shout out to everybody in there as well. What else we got here coming in tonight? Rangers and under 6.5 from Nicholas Handy. Also, we've got here some plays from Rod Zawacky here. You got his plays here in the chat. What else we've got in here? Darren Turner like the Stars. Also here, our man B. Lick coming in here with Gushkov +100 UFC for Saturday. A pick from him as well. Raven Ron likes the Pels +6.5 there from Raven Ron. Shout out there. B. Lick liking Duke laying the big points tonight. Duke in action here against Notre Dame. And shout out there to Nick Beats Vegas, as always here. Shout out to Darren Turner liking Cal money line against USC. Auburn laying 5. Spurs +8. And singles and side parlay with these picks from Darren Turner. All right, got everybody in there as well. That's going to do it for our show. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll hope to see everybody here in the show as well. So shout out to everybody here tonight. All right, that's going to do it. Let's bring in the crew tonight. Make it body, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch